The Paul Leslie Hour, helping people tell their stories. And now, your host, Paul Leslie.
Hey, it's me. You are listening to the Paul Leslie Hour. As of this very episode, we are officially in our 16th year of circulation. On this transmission, we are joined by one of the most influential, timeless, soulful saxophonists in the world, Mr. Lou Donaldson, known as Sweet Poppa Lou by his many admirers and fans. He is an alto saxophonist, composer, a recording artist with a very rich discography. He's released approximately 50 studio albums. He's also celebrated as a live performer, a band leader. He's worked with the greats from Jimmy Smith, George Benson, Grant Green, just to name a couple. Jazz critic and author Will Friedwald wrote, "My first impulse is always to describe Lou Donaldson as the greatest alto saxophonist in the world." The New York Times called him the leading exponent of the soul jazz approach. Speaking with him today is one of the remarkable events in my life, and I am so grateful to have been blessed to say these words. Welcome, Lou Donaldson. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thank you very much.
So how are you today?
I'm okay.
That's good to hear. So why do you do it? Why do you make music?
I'm almost retired now. I did it because my mother was a music teacher. And as a kid, I used to hear, she used to give piano lessons. And I used to hear piano 24 hours a day. I never played it. I never wanted to play it because she had a switch. And when the little kids would miss notes, she'd wrap them across the knuckles with that switch. So one day she told me, Louis, you got more talent than anybody that even comes here to take lessons. And I said, how do you know that? He said, because when the kids are humming the little etudes, I used to be humming it. I used to be singing them. And she said, I said, well, I just memorized all the things. She said, no, you had to have a pretty good ear to pick it up, She said, so you must be musically inclined. Say, I know you're not going to study piano. So she got me a clarinet. And that started it all.
So you started on the clarinet.
Right.
What did you think of the clarinet? Was it something you took to right away?
No, it was, I used to go to see the Christmas Eve concert, in our town. And our town is Badin, B-A-D-I-N, North Carolina, which was the home of, at that time, Alcoa Aluminum. And nothing in that town but that plant. And they had a big band, all white, of course. Back in those days, everything was segregated. But my mother used to take me there, and she used to speak with the director, a guy named Leo Gabriel. And he would use her sometime when she needed some piano pieces, to work on because she was classically trained. And I used to see the band, and he said, well, what instrument would you like to play? I said, the clarinet. It fascinated me to see that clarinet, the sound,
As you mentioned, you're from Badin, North Carolina.
Right.
If you could tell the listeners, how would you describe your life growing up in North Carolina? What was the atmosphere?
Well, I was a happy-go-lucky kid. My mother was a school teacher, and my father was a minister of a couple of churches, And I had 2 sisters and a brother, 2 boys, 2 girls. And the little town, it's about 30,000 people, if you count the chickens and the hogs, And and everybody knew everybody. Way back in those days, it was depression, when I was born. I was born in 26. I never realized it because, I was too young. Because everybody in the town at that time worked in the plant, so everybody knew everybody, And so it was like an integrated town, actually, sort of like it. I never saw anything that the average person, the average black person went through, during that time. We didn't go through it in that town. It was just great. I was a baseball player. I loved to play baseball. In fact, they named the baseball field down there in my name because I was a pretty good player, third baseman. And they assumed that as soon as I grew up, I'd play professional ball, which I did play with a barnstorming team for a couple of months, about 6 months, till I hurt my little finger picking up a ball, because back in those days, baseball parks that we played on had rocks on it big as the ball. And the ball hit a rock and bounced awkwardly up and hit me on my finger. And it puffed up and I couldn't play my clarinet. And I said, well, that's the end of my baseball profession. I'm quitting.
I can't think of anything more American than baseball and jazz.
Well, to be frank with you, jazz, I didn't know anything about jazz. They had one station, WBT, in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a big city. They had 50,000 watts. And we could pick up that station, but all they played was country and western. And they had one guy on there, I never will forget him, named Grady Cole. He had one record, Louis Armstrong, playing St. James Infirmary. And on the other side, I think it was a Bye Bye Blackbird. He played that every day. Both of those songs he played them. And he just crack up with Louis Armstrong singing. And that's the only jazz I heard when I was a kid. That's the only thing I heard.
What did you think of the country and western music they were playing?
I love that music. I loved it. I learned all of it. And, Hank Williams and Roy Cup and the Smoky Mountain Boys, Minnie Pearl and the Grand Ole Opry, all that. I heard all of that when I was a kid. The Carter Family, Sons of the Pioneers, stuff like that. And I remember I could sing just about any song that he played, because he played the same songs every day.
Now, when he was playing the Louis Armstrong song, was that something that you just naturally liked?
Yeah, I like that. I like that singing. And I like the trumpet playing, too, the way he played. And that, it kind of got me interested a little. And then, later on as I got older, in my teens, we got a radio where we could pick up the stations from New York. And I tuned in and I hear Duke Ellington's band, Count Basie, and Harry James and Benny Goodman. Both of them had a cigarette commercial show. I think it was a Camel cigarette. I think it was. I can't possibly say that's who it was now because I can't remember. But I tuned in for that to get the big band sound. I like that. The big band.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking not long ago with our friend on this show, John Paradise, and we mentioned you, Lou Donaldson, and he said, I saw him at the Village Vanguard back in 1993. Great alto player. And he said, and he sang too. And man, he sang great. And then he started singing what you were singing. And tell us a little bit about your singing in your live shows.
Well, I did that to break the monotony of the music and give myself a rest, After years and years and years of playing in clubs, you work out a system where you have a system of playing and things that you do all the time. It gives you a break. But you know that because I had a set I used to play. I would call them a feel 'em out set, and I'd play different kind of tunes. And whatever song they went for, like if they went for a blues, a ballad, or anything like that, a dance tune or something, that's what I'd lay on the rest of the week because I knew that that's what they liked. And the musicians of the band used to crack up because it worked all the time.
So you would say it's very important to pay attention to your audience.
Well, these guys today, they don't have an audience. That's the problem because the stuff they play is so confusing that a layman will just continue to talk while they play. I go to these clubs now and I see these bands playing and people are talking. Back then when we played, wasn't nobody talking. They'd be up in the floor dancing once we started playing our music. Because the music had a different effect on them. Today is a different thing.
So what do you do when you're a performer and you've got a tough crowd?
Well, we find something to settle them down. It's always a way to do it. Music is one of the greatest mediums in the world for life. Because people get happy when you go to the hospital and you play music, It's a great sedative for people. And if people get to stomping and people get to talking, what we do, we play a fast tune, and feature the drummer. He drown out all that talking, so they have to stop. At least while he's playing and listen to the band.
Is there a song from the songs that you perform live that you have found, man, if I play this song, it gets them every time. They love it. What song is that?
Oh, well, I got several, that I do, and I did them especially for that reason. Of course, Blues Walk, you heard that. That was a big hit.
Oh, yeah.
And The Masquerade Is Over, which is on the other side of the 45. That was a big hit on the jukebox. One of the first songs Frank Wolf of the Blue Note Record Company that the distributors took from Blue Note all across country. Because, Blue Note had some hard tunes to sell. Because back then, they had a lot of bebop records and had a lot of Dixieland records and stuff like that. And they had they invested a lot of money in Thelonious Monk. And back then, that music was very hard to sell. And he sent them to the distributor. And the distributor would send them right back to New York. And he told me mine was the one he took out every time I'd send a record. They'd take it and put it on the jukebox. Which a lot of people don't know. I see a lot of people now when they talking about music and musicians, but they don't really know the correct history. So I have to just look at them and laugh. I used to give them an argument about it, but I don't do it anymore.
I was listing at the beginning of the interview some of the musicians that you played with. I'm curious to know who knocked you out.
Not only did I play with those musicians, I brought all those musicians myself to New York, to the Blue Note Record Company. I brought Grant Green from East St. Louis, Illinois, which is right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri. I brought him to New York myself. And Bill Hardman, Blue Mitchell, Clifford Brown. I went down to hear him and brought him to and made his first date with me on Blue Note. And Jimmy Smith I heard about from a singer back there, Babs Gonzalez. Now, Babs was a guy that knew everything. If you wanted some information about anybody in any kind of profession, he knew about it. He knew everything. And he claimed that this guy from down in Wilmington, Delaware, was going to upset the world with this organ, which I never heard. I heard organ that much. You know, I heard Milt Buckner play it a little, and Wild Bill Davis, those people. But he played it a different way. And I said, man, we got to bring this guy into New York. And Alfred Martin brought him in. And we made this record with Jimmy called The Sermon, which I'm sure you know of. Too long to play on the radio because it's about a half hour long.
Are there any saxophonists out there right now who are working that you respect a lot?
Well, actually, you know, I don't know hardly anybody anymore. You know, that I even listen to over 2 or 3 minutes, you know. Nobody's got any identity. And all of them play the same, you know. They go to school, they learn how to play. And they're wonderful musicians. Some of them wonderful technicians. But none of them have any ID. Like when I was coming up, you know, like Charlie Parker. And before Charlie Parker, I used to listen to Johnny Hodges, Tab Smith, Eddie Vincent, Cleanhead, you know, those kind of people. Way back, and then during the bebop era, of course, I knew all the musicians. But today, I know most of the young musicians. I go to hear them play, you know. And all of them play just about the same. I know Antonio Hart real well. And I know the guy plays with Roy Eldridge. What's his name? Not Roy Eldridge, but it was Roy Haynes. Can't think of his name right now. Because I'm not senile, but I got Alzheimer's, not Alzheimer's. Let's see, there's a lot of guys around that play today. Jerry Weldon is a guy that I like, a saxophone player. Eric Alexander, I go to see him every Tuesday. He works down at Smoke in New York, in the Smoke Club. And Peter Bernstein, of course, who worked with me. Joe Farnsworth and Mike Ladon, they got a quartet down there. I go down there just about every Tuesday. I can make it if it doesn't rain. Because if it rains, I don't go out, you know.
I hear you.
But I have nobody really stands out right now. Right, Kenny Garrett is great, but you know, he plays a different kind of style that I would prefer. Although he's great, he's a great saxophone player.
Who have you played with that really knocked you out?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. When I made the record with Clifford Brown, you know, at Birdland, I would have played the job for no money. Because I just listened to him play. he was so far ahead that time of anybody else. And of course, you know, I've heard Art Tatum, people like that. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. In fact, one night, I used to eat up at Wales, up on 132nd, 7th Avenue. They had a chicken and waffle place. I'd go there every morning after I got off my job. I'd go up there and eat. And I went up there one night, and they were repairing the piano. Not the keys, but in the back where they have the felt and all that stuff back in there. And I said, what happened? Did the piano fall? The guy said, no. Art Tatum played a set in here, tore it up. He stole the keys, played the keys right off the piano. And I got to hear him a couple of times. I couldn't believe it. And the only one I ever did that to me was Phineas Newburn. Phineas was the greatest piano player, young piano player to play, but they never gave him any credit because his father was his manager, and his father wanted to check the contracts and talk about the money. And, you know, booking agents didn't want to hear that. If you start talking like that, they just fire you and get somebody else. Because there's a lot of people available. So Phineas never got famous. But he was the greatest piano player that I ever saw. The younger guys.
What about you? You know, you paid compliments to a couple of people there. What was the best compliment that you ever received?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I'm a jazz master. I received the Jazz Master Award, and I got over in Japan one time. I got a Lifetime Achievement Award, and I've got several awards from. It was a International Jazz Hall of Fame. That really was more powerful to me than anything because I asked the guy, was he sure he was making the right, picking the right guy? Because when I went to the Hall of Fame, he had Lionel Hampton and Sweet Sanderson and James Moody, Clark Terry, all those kind of people. They were there. And he already had put in Coleman Hawkins and Ben Webster, Don Byers, and somebody else I'm missing, Earl Bostic, who was a great saxophone player. A lot of people didn't know it because he wasn't strung out or anything like that. He did his own business, and the promoters didn't like that, so they didn't give him any publicity. But he was a great saxophone player. And what else? I got an award from the United States Navy when I was in service. I was one of the first 5,000 black sailors to get a rank put on their sleeve. Before I went in 1954. Before I went into the Navy, the only thing that a black sailor could do was be a steward's mate, a cook, or something like that. And they never got rated. And we went up there and they put this thing on our sleeve, musician. And it was amazing. made me feel like I was a king. Because the guys below me would have to salute, It was powerful.
What would you say the secret of your success has been?
Well, the secret to my success is that, in the first place, I love what I was doing. And in the second place, I always traveled. I did more traveling than any musician I know in the jazz category. We had bands that would go from New York down to go down to the East Coast from New York to Florida. So tour they had dance halls in all the big cities called the Weinberg tour. But see, I took my organ group. I went from New York all the way to California. And a lot of the jobs I used to book myself. And like I tell you, I had this film outset. So I knew the towns and I knew the people. And I could go to them once or twice a year. So that kept me employed all the time. Then I'd come back to New York and play whatever I wanted to play. So I was in a good position. And then I had a wonderful life. Very lucky because I had several, not I would say big hit records, but several good records. And I don't have to worry about anything, So it was a pretty good situation for me.
On that note, what is the best thing about being Lou Donaldson?
It's hard for me to say, except for being a human being and very sick guy. I'm kind of tough to deal with at times. But my daughter tells me I'm tough to deal with. She's taking care of me now. But I was married for 55 years to the same girl from my hometown. I had a life like an average person. And then I had a musical side of my life. And I was, another thing I'm telling you, I forgot to tell you, I'm very lucky because I told you I was a baseball player. And I was sitting up in the stands when Bobby Thompson hit the home run. I was in the bleachers, which I paid $1.75 to sit. It was so far away from the thing. and it was in that afternoon game, and I didn't really see the ball until it hits the stands because, as far away as I was, the ball, you could see the pitcher throw the ball, but you couldn't see it after the people hit it. You just watched the outfielders and infielders, whichever one moved, you knew he was going after the ball. And when he hit the ball, nobody moved. And I saw the crowd up in section 21 at the polo grounds. All of them jump up, so I knew it was a home run. And then I really knew it was a home run when I saw Jackie Robinson and Pee Wee Reese throw their gloves down on the ground and start walking toward the dressing room. And Eddie Stanky, who was with the Giants, ran down the third baseline and jumped up into Leo DeRocha's arms. Leo DeRocha was the manager, but that day he was coaching third. So I knew it was a home run. That was a great time. And another time that you know my life, well, I told you where I'm from, and nobody had a shortwave radio when I was a kid. And we used to have the fights with Joe Lewis. And the night he knocked out Max Spelling, my father had got his T-model Ford, the kind you used to have to crank up. And we drove about 5 miles out to a house where a guy had a shortwave radio, and he had it up in the tree because about 50 or 60 people were there. And he would cook fish, beans, and rice and sell everybody, $25 a plate. Because a lot of the people came with horse and buggy. They had a long way to go. And we used to listen to the fight in that tree. And the shortwave radio would go in and out and in and out. But somewhere that night, it didn't ever go out. We got to hear the whole thing, the whole fight. We shouldn't last but about 1 round anyway. But that was a dramatic part of my life when I was a kid.
The other night, it was complete darkness, and I was listening to your version that you recorded of Over the Rainbow. Is that a special song to you?
Oh, yeah, that is a special song to me, I used to use that all the time for my ballad. When I played my first set of music, I always played that as a ballad. And especially powerful with the recording. Was it with the organ player?
I think so, yeah.
Special record with the organ. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sound. And see, the way I play saxophone, a kind of combination between swing and bebop, So I'm in between there, so I know how to play a ballad, because a lot of kids today, you never hear the melody. They're so anxious to want to start improvising the tune. Actually, they improvise through the melody. People never get the melody. See, because back when I played, they would have been fired, after one song. Because people back then, they listened to what you played, and they would sing along with you, or hum along with you. And if you didn't play the stuff that they could sing and hum, they didn't like it.
What is it you like about music?
Well, I like about music, it keeps you alive. That's what I say. It's got rhythm. It's got rhythm in it. And that rhythm breathes life into you, especially when you're born. As I was saying, when I played a ballad, I used to just imagine the melody while I was playing it. Lester Young told me that one time. Said when he played a ballad, he would be singing in his saxophone the same thing that he's playing on his horn. And I started doing that myself. And I found out that it projected more to the people when you did that. It was amazing. But little secrets like that, but you pick up, if you ask people, they'll tell you. And as you know, rhythm determines everything in the world, because if you got a leg ache, a toe ache, or ear ache, anything, first thing a doctor does is get out the stethoscope and listen to your heart before he even examines your leg or something, Because he knows if your heart is not beating right, you got problems. It's the same way with music. If the beat is not there, you got problems. That's why these guys today on the drums, they want to play so much stuff. A lot of bands got a lot of problems because the people never feel the rhythm of the music.
Wow, very well put. All the listeners, if they want to find out more, it's loudonaldson.com. In closing, what would you like to say to all of our listeners out there, young, old, wherever they are?
Well, the listeners, I want to say thank everybody for patronizing my music and that I appreciate it because I've seen a lot of musicians who when they do interview, get them on TV, and they usually come up with the artistic thing about, I played this. I didn't care if I didn't make any money and all that, but see, I know they're joking because anybody that plays music, bebop or whatever it is, Spanish music, anything, if you don't pay them at the end of the night, you got problems. They might say they don't like nothing but art, but if they say art, they must mean art them. Because all of them I've been around, at the end of the night, regardless of what happened, they want to get paid.
Of course.
But me, I played, and I knew stuff was going to work because, see, when I made my records, as you can see, they're much different from other people. Because other people, a lot of these musicians that they rave about and rank about how great they are, some of those guys never even left New York. They didn't know anything about playing music at all. Because I used to travel all over the country, and when I'd come back to New York, I'd record with my band, and everything was tight. Everything was tight, just like anything, just like a mechanical machine. So these records are much different. Plus, we had the greatest sound man in the world, Rudy Van Gelder, and he had different kind of equipment that makes the record sound much different. I was listening to a record the other night, live at the Cadillac, where I play Sputnik. I'm not Sputnik. I play the Scorpion. And that record is so great, I didn't realize it, but I just happened to listen to it. And the way it's set up, you could hear every part, every instrument. Everything was great. And the groove, it started on one, and it stayed right there until the thing ended. Of course, I had the great Idris Mohammed on drums. And it was a great record. It's a great record. If anybody wants to hear something about it, live at the Cadillac Club.
Live at the Cadillac Club.
Yeah. Of course, my big hits like Alligator Boogaloo and Midnight Creeper. One story I can tell you before I leave, I worked over in Italy, up in Puccio, Italy, up in the mountains, where they have a big festival every year. And at the end of the night, my set ended at 12 o'clock. So I played, and the amazing thing about it, when I came, I was in the mountains. It was about 10 feet of snow, but still everybody came out to the concert. And when I came out, it was a soccer team, guys that came in playing soccer. They had lined up at the door. And as I walked out through the door, you know what they were singing?
What's that?
The Midnight Creeper. And they sang it, and when I walked, they followed me down the street, all the way to McDonald's, because we went to get a hamburger after we finished eating it. And when I came back out of the shop, they started singing it again outside. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Well, Lou Donaldson, thank you very much for sharing with us. Thank you for being a guest. It's a great honor to talk to you.
Yeah, it's good to speak to you. you too, and I appreciate your 16 years of music. And I'm glad you got a chance to play some of my stuff.
Absolutely, and it's an honor.
Because that's what I made it for, something to be. A little artistic, but I still want the general public to appreciate it.
Well, just know that there are so many people around the world who appreciate what you've created.
I'm very fortunate because I have, I would say, I know close to 1 million people I know. I get calls and stuff from people overseas all the time. It's amazing. Some of them still play my music. They're old as I am, but they still play it.
That's amazing. All right, sir. Until next time.
All right, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. I wish you a great night.
All right, same to you. Don't forget to tell everybody I'll be 3 weeks from now. I'll be 93. So.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's November 1st.
November 1st.
So I'm going to keep on keeping, and I don't play a lot professionally, but if they just want to hear me that bad, I'll pull it out and play it.
All right, sir.
All right, have a good one. Have a good day.
And you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Lou Donaldson interview recorded October 11th, 2019. Produced October 11th and 12th, 2019, corresponding with 16 years of interview content. We wish you happiness, music, and most of all, love.
Bop-ba doodly beep bop dee da dee bumpity boo rapity canasa jip bop killa canot sagil bond good jiga manga but yeah hunger I guess I get back in the eat daga go I got the inga rock tangle like a boy I can't oh goodbye.